Namaste ji, namaste. Welcome to Courtroom by TLOI. Today we have with us Jaivansh, a student of Courtroom from back in the day, 23, 23, and he has just recently graduated from NLS Bangalore, and he got trained in this room, and now he's returned here as an advocate. A moment of great pride and joy. It is an immense pleasure for me to talk to my students when they return back as as the Batman wearing the capes of a lawyer, I would say. And he's pursued his 3-year LL.B. at NLS Bangalore. He's in the class of 26, and he's an alumnus from that law school. तो हाँ जी जयवंश जी, हाउ डज इट फील फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, है ना? 3 साल की जर्नी हो गई पूरी. यू सर्वाइव द ट्राइमेस्टर्स, द ऑफन so called the pressure cooker, the hyper pressure environment that exists, you survived that.
Yeah.
Firstly, he cleared NLSAT and then he survived that. See, that gives you a lot of validation and authenticity in life. So how was the experience? How were the 3 years?
So 3 years, I mean, long time, but all thanks to you and God's blessings. Everything went well. And I encountered people there that I wouldn't have met otherwise in my life. And it was a really brilliant experience overall. Because what sets NLS apart from other law schools, especially the 3-year cohort, it's that you have people coming in from all walks of life. My cohort itself, it had IFS, IRS offices. You had ex-MBA professors.
Yeah.
There were also other working professionals, engineers. I shared a room with a civil engineer, and I got to know how law operates in his side of the life. So, I mean, very, very enriching experience overall. Academically, it is constantly stimulating your mind. It is constantly challenging you to question your beliefs, so that you are able to articulate with precision why you are right and why you think that you are right. And most of all, it has taught you to accept that you can be wrong.
Right.
I think most people, as we grow older, we are, especially in these times, in times of social media and everything, we are growing up in echo chambers. And that university, it inculcates a kind of critical self-reflection that you wouldn't find elsewhere. So in that regard, I'm very grateful that I had that experience in life.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Right. Because these colleges, for example, wherever the academic rigor is high, they give you a sort of an environment in which you get your mind is constantly getting trained. Second is because of the kind of work that you are made to do. So how do they teach? Do they give you a case mat, or do they give you readings? Like, how does it all work? Because I want you to detail out your experience basically at studying there.
Yeah. So first and foremost, what sets this apart from other colleges is the trimester system.
Yeah.
Because we have 3 months of constant studying,
right,
and we are allotted 4 subjects in any given trimester.
Okay.
In the first year, we're only studying core subjects. In the second year, we have 1 elective. In the third year, we have 2 electives.
Okay.
2 elective, 2 core, that kind of division. But the course module is pretty much, like all course modules are pretty much constructed the same way, in that they'll assign you readings to establish your theoretical foundation, and see how the subject actually operates, what it's supposed to do, what are the theories that are involved here. After that, we come to the law point. Law point वो फिर legislation का ये start to finish.
Okay.
Right. They cover the basics, the very basics that help you realize how to. Law is not about finding the answers. That's what I learned there. It's about where to look for the answers. And that they teach you really well, because they strengthen your legal principles to such an extent that you're able to logically deduce कि इस स्टैट्यूट में इस चीज का प्रोविजन है, तो इसका आंसर कहाँ मिलेगा.
Right.
ये प्रोविजन कहाँ मिलेगा, what it's supposed to do. For example, if we have judgment saying bail is the rule, jail is the bail is the rule, jail is the exception. So when is jail the exception? Right. तो उसमें जो आपका ट्रिपल टेस्ट होता है, उसके लिए आपको केस लॉज पढ़ाएंगे, they'll run you through the provisions, they'll tell you how to interpret those provisions. And for that we have our classrooms are conducted with the Socratic method,
Right.
wherein the professors will first explain the core they'll explain the core principle. They'll ask your thoughts on it,
Right.
and with not just whether or not you understood it, but what do you think about it?
Right.
Is it right, is it wrong, and why do you think it's right or wrong? After that we get into the policy behind the provision itself, as the professor understands it. And that further leads you to actually understand more holistically how the acts and the provisions, they work conjointly with the case laws and the interpretation of the law itself. Ki judges, like we also hear ki judges are supposed to uphold the public policy, right? They are the arbiters of public policy. So how judges decide public policy in conjointly with the act?
Right. Right. So, like he said, this sort of pedagogy also, well, then trains you or evolves your thinking process, which really immensely aids you in life, and then eventually this becomes the distinctive factor that when compared to, well, others. Now, of course, life is not a race. However, this does give you that sort of a very, very distinct advantage, and this only comes in if you have been trained in schools that give you the freedom to think, and then over a period of time, if you are open, if you are actually intelligent, you'll be open that as more and more data becomes available to you, you end up changing your views or your entire thinking process around that problem. Now, when you climb the profession of advocacy, that you climb the ladder there, you need this skill, and this is what distinguishes a senior from, let us say, a normal advocate, and that's why they are able to charge the marks that they are able to do, right? So, question, so let's go back to 23, and you clearing the NLSAT, and you have no idea of what is about to hit you.
Yep.
Did the expectation match the imagination that you had? Did the reality match the imagination that you had about the college overall? Because you spent 3 years, that's like about 1,000 odd days there.
Yeah, loaded question, but I always knew it was going to be academically challenging. Just did not figure out how challenging it would be. I think in my case, and that would stand true for most people who come from public universities. It's that in public universities like Delhi University or Punjab University or BHU or everything,
Right.
they're only focused on covering the syllabus and not as much as actually helping you understand and learn about the subject, because they leave that to you, because if you're interested in the subject, you read that yourself. In NLS, that is not the case, because every reading that you are assigned, you are tested on every day in class.
Okay.
So it's not like you have a choice in the matter. You are forced to study.
Right.
And when you're not in the rhythm of constantly studying and going through materials, that can be incredibly challenging, because you're just not in the right state and in the right flow. So just to find that flow, it can take you a lot of time.
Right.
Like it took me a year and a half to get back into the groove. Ki even if I used to perform academically well in school, I was lax in my studies in college, because there was really no incentive to study.
Right.
Here you're held at gunpoint, because you have to study, you have to complete your deadline, meet your deadlines. You have to prepare for your end terms. They're continuously testing you on one or the other thing.
Right.
They do that by enforcing class participation.
Right.
Because every student is like 5 or 10 marks for class participation का component होता है, everyone's marked on that.
Okay.
Right. You also have continuous evaluations that go on throughout these 3 months for all your 4 subjects. Those can manifest in the form of research papers, they can manifest in forms of midterms, but there is always some element for the continuous evaluation that is mandated by the university's regulations.
John Wick is pretty much on your head all the time, holding the gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
and basically asking you कि हाँ सच्ची पढ़ लिया सच्ची क्या जा है ना? That's what I've been hearing. I've had by God's grace we've had n number of people basically in NLS, a lot of them sitting there, and this is the only feedback that I keep on getting via messages also कि हे राम हे प्रभु है ना? And then of course the training via the readings etc. We won't get into that any which way. So what is this perpetual war? Is there a war in placements between the 5-year LB guys and you guys? Because this is one question that we get hit. Matlab, despite people, we run a coaching program for the NLSAT, but this is like कि होता है ऐसा है क्या हमने कहीं से सुन लिया है? What exactly is the placement scenario like, and is there a placement bias between the 5-year LB guys, the guys coming in from CLAT versus you guys, for example?
Okay, so most people will have their own take on it. I have my own take on it.
Yeah.
There will be people inside the college that will be telling you there's no war between the LLBs, LLBs and BLLBs. There will be people who are saying ki there's cutthroat competition every time.
Yeah.
From what I have observed from my placement scenes, there was indeed an evidentiary bias between the 3-year LLB and the 5-year LLB placements, but that has a lot of mitigating factors behind it. 5-year LLBs, they spend their 5 years in that university with only law as the singular focus. With 3-year LLB, we have different expectations and different needs from the discipline of law. So it's also about a matter of how many people are studying for not studying, sitting for placements, and how many people they want to just go out there and do their own thing and are just using law as a means to understand the world better. In our case, because NLS is academic environment, it's built to groom you for corporate placements. And they try to superimpose that environment onto us, but and that did not work out as well as they expected, and they're still experimenting, they're still rectifying that, because they understand that 3-year guys have different needs than 5-year guys. And our program is still at a very nascent stage. So that is also one of the reasons that tier 1 and tier 2 law firms, they're still a bit skeptical about our programs. And that is maybe why they're not willing to, put all their eggs in one basket, and they'd rather, rely with they'd rather rely with the safe option, which is the 5-year LLB, which is the 5-year BLLBs. With the 3-year LLBs, we have people going for litigation, we have people going for in-house counsels, we have officers that are just looking to understand the systems that they're working within better. So, I think placement in itself, it is a very two-dimensional thing.
Right.
You either have it or you don't, and if you don't have it, then boo. And that is the mindset that most law schools, especially NLUs, have been cultivating for such a long time, that the market has become incredibly saturated and people are catching up onto it. That is also one of the reasons that placements have seen a slight dip from the big 4 NLEs, which is NLS, NALSA, NUJS, NLU Delhi. Right. So in that regard, at least I'll say कि placements के लिए there is a bit of a bias, but maybe that bias will correct itself in a couple of years as the program goes forward. Like even for the 5-year BLLBs, this program was launched by the NLS itself in 1987, I think. Right? When NLS was established, around that time only. Before that, 3-year LLB was the norm. I'm pretty sure that we'll have people from the legacy batches testifying that there was an evidentiary biases. There were biases in placements back then, right? So placement is not the be-all and end-all of law school. They just prepare you to be a good lawyer. Anywhere you'll end up, you will do excellent. That is the one thing that is common with both 3-year and 5-year programs.
Yeah. So it's not a black or white question. There's a lot of gray there. And additionally, NLS started this program in 22. So he's from the second batch overall. It's like the second batch in history that exists there. So it's a lot of time will be there because a lot of data needs to get produced before we come to a definite conclusion. Because when the premises are not fixed, then the conclusion and then the assumptions, the standard, the logical, the critical reasoning method, and then you can't, if the premise is not fixed, then what conclusion can we essentially speaking draw? So your batch, so he works in litigation in Delhi, and he's a litigator. And I believe your batch also saw corporate placements, corporate law placements.
A healthy corporate placements.
Yeah, very healthy law corporate placements in the tune of I think around 12 to 15 odd lakhs. That could have been the average.
Yeah.
Because from NLS you expect that those sort of figures in the corporate law scene.
I mean, if you're considering day zero, I mean, 15 was the average. Yeah, it was a very good score.
15 is the standard thing, I believe. 15 is the standard, and then if you make it to a capital markets firm, perhaps you get 3-4 lakh rupees joining bonuses, and the standard journey. The standard journey. I have an interview with one of my former students, NLU from NLU Delhi, Anand's interviews there, and that's where he also detailed out A0, A1, A2, the standard corporate law hierarchy. In which again from NLU Delhi also he's the batch of, I think he recently he's gone into UPSC prep now, but he's batch of 24 or 25, and I believe the standard packages remain the same for 5-year LB, same for 3-year LB. So placements are there, and these rumors of placement biases existing, etc., they don't have much solid ground or substance beneath them for anyone to make a definite conclusion about them. Right? It's a lot of n number of factors. So what usually happens is that in online discussions, it's these days any which way, either you are right or either you are left or either you are black or either you're white, and whereas the discussion center around a lot of grey, essentially speaking. Okay, ji. Now, how exhausting is the daily grind, the trimester system? So what happens? So for example, after these 3 months are over, when do the examinations take place, and how are the questions papers centered around? They give you fictional scenarios on which they test you, or is it like just theoretical answers and questions?
Okay, so it's a mix of both. You do have theory questions.
Right.
I think one theory question for 10 marks at the end of the paper or before or the first question. But bulk of the paper is centered around hypotheticals that test your real-time application of the law, where you're looking for statutes and provisions that apply in context of the case laws that apply. So it's pretty much like NLSAT only, where you have to apply your mind with critical reasoning and everything, but here you are provided sources, because sources being your case laws that you have studied all throughout these 3 months.
Right. So after the 3 months, you get hit with an examination, and of the entire testing of the 3 months is already done.
That here is a question paper. This pretty much covers what you've learned in these past 3 months. Apply your mind. Tell me what your what your answer will be. You're essentially deciding a case as a judge, right? Or arguing as a lawyer.
Right.
So you have to present cogent arguments or your legal reasoning as a legal professional in that moment. Like, you're not a law student in that moment. You are a bona fide legal professional that has a case before you, and you're applying your mind to
it. Right. So, well, you present your cohesive, cogent arguments, and then, well, just something like judiciary mains, in fact. Judiciary mains is something like this, that constantly a situation is given to you. Well, here is the law, apply it. Here is the case law. Well, of course, you need to know about the case law, and then, well, you apply it, and then you give the argument, essentially speaking, something like NLSAT Part B only. Something which DO also does, fictional situations, etc. And during the 3 months, you're constantly tested on those readings and the daily work that you pretty much are doing.
Yeah.
Time for extracurriculars on the campus itself, where time?
You'll have to make time. Okay, but then again, I've seen people who have juggled their extracurriculars, including sports, debates, moods, and everything, because they are just pure type A personalities, and they find they need to be constantly engaged and stimulated, and they find that lifestyle attractive.
Right.
It's just that people are constantly telling you that you don't have the time to do all this. And now that I'm actually working as a litigator, I realized how much free time I had in law school to do the things that I wanted to do, and I simply did not do them because of some reason or the other, or was erstwhile engaged in consumption of media per se. कि TV show देख लिया, movie देख ली, instead of like debate के लिए prepare कर लो या sports जाके खेल. ठीक है, you do have time for that. You do require that time to keep your mind fresh. Like it's not constantly studying 12 hours a day or everything. I mean that's quite unsustainable. You have to break down your day in parts and then decide कि किस part में क्या करना है. You have time to eat, you have time to play games, you have time to sleep also. Right. It's just that how well you yourself are holding yourself accountable and how well you are managing your routine. Until and unless you are leading a very disciplined lifestyle, you won't find the success that you are striving for in law school. And I think the university also enforces that in a slight way, in a very small way, right? So I'll give you an example. We have a concept of soft deadlines and hard deadlines.
Okay.
Soft deadlines is the deadline where you have to submit the paper, the official deadline, so to speak. Hard deadline is a deadline where you can submit the paper after some deductions of half a mark per day. So a standard hard deadline is 6 days of extension with half a mark submission. It means 3 marks in total.
Okay.
People usually do not submit on the soft deadline until and unless they are looking to preserve their GPAs, because each and every mark matters when GPAs are finally being calculated and moderated. So most people just submit on hard deadlines, and those 3 marks I've seen, at least my mark sheet will reflect that. Those 3 marks at the end of all those 3 years, like I always submitted on hard deadline. I will not lie about that. I always submitted on hard deadline. If I submitted on soft deadline earlier, my GPA would have been like 1.5 point greater than what it is right now. Right. And that, I think, is a testament to what the kind of life that you have led in law school. Right. Whether you have led a disciplined life, whether you have just gotten in there, gotten your law degree out of there, and just went out in the world. I mean, I could have done a lot of things better. I could have led a better law student life, so to speak. But it's not like I have any regrets that haunt me per se, because at the end of the day, I still have a law degree from NLS. I did my time there. I completed all the requisite course requirements and everything, and I sat in the same classrooms as the toppers did. Right. And they studied the same things that I did. So at the end of the day, we are still all on the same footing, so to speak. Though those GPAs that you're supposed to maintain, they will only help you if you're going for corporate placements. In litigation, it doesn't matter as much. In corporate, they make or break things. So if you are striving solely for corporate placements, GPAs will matter a lot.
Right. So that's a point to be noted, my lord. Right. तो क्योंकि ये तो वहाँ पे litigation में not really, but yeah, मतलब CV पे होता है तो, but खैर litigation में you know how the scene is like, right? How many from your batch in litigation, or you were the only odd one out?
No. My core friend group, most of us are in litigation only.
I was like, attracts like, you are the company that you keep. You won't be able to. होता क्या है कि when we teach for the 5-year LL.B, the 3-year LL.B here, one of the most frequently asked questions, and that too, it comes in a very vociferous manner, is corporate law litigation. My only answer is, you'll have to figure out yourself first. Chakho these domains and find out what suits you the best. Because both just are. No one's superior, no one's inferior, both just are. Like he said, core friend group. You will always be friends with people who have the same mental template, with the person, aligned with the person that you are, essentially speaking, on the inside. And when you enter into such universities, such prestigious universities, the biggest advantage is that you will end up inevitably encountering people who are completely different from you, hold a completely different viewpoint from you, And they are also ready to defend their viewpoint to death and sometimes attack you for yours as well. And that develops you. And that trains you for the very necessary rigors of life that are just about to hit you. So like for example, these soft deadlines are these are things that you need to stick to. Even in litigation, there are deadlines there all the time. In corporate law, I mean, I've had my students working even on Diwali day because some IPO was launching in some share capital market. God only knows what SEBI listing, पता नहीं क्या क्या बोलते रहते हैं लोग. हमें तो experience नहीं है उसका. But you have to just follow that. I mean, that a rigorous law school trains you for that, and therefore, even when the companies come in to pay you, they know that A, you have cracked an entrance, B, you have survived a pressure cooker sort of a situation for an extended period of time. So you have an insane ability to tackle all that pressure, which is inevitably going to meet you in your working life. That's that. Placement के बारे में बात कर ली and okay. क्वेश्चन इन्होंने मेरे को लिख के दिया हुआ. वैसे यूजली आई डू नॉट लाइक टू रेफर टू दिस लिस्ट, बट आजकल क्या होता है कि पोस्ट इंटरव्यू डिसोनेंस हो जाती है कि ये क्यों नहीं पूछा था उस टाइम पे. नाउ दैट यू आर सेफली ऑन द अदर साइड, वाज द एंटायर इन्वेस्टमेंट वर्थ इट ओवरऑल?
Okay,
Yeah.
so like I can state the figures for the fees and everything.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Please do.
When I joined law school, my first year fees was 3,75,000 rupees with the security deposit.
Wow.
For my second year, it was 3,54,000 or 56,000. I'm not aware.
Yeah.
Okay. Same for the third year.
Now I think it's at 5.
Yeah. Now it's at 5.
Yeah, now it's
5 lakhs per year. If you have to take out an education loan just to get into NLS, it's not worth it. Bhai, please, क्या कहते हैं, go to some private law school, go to Symbiosis, go to Jindal. Jindal, if you can afford it, that is. I mean, that's more expensive. I'm really sorry. No, but any private law school, like Symbiosis only, if you can afford it, bhai, please chale jao, because it's not, worth taking a drop just to get into NLS. I've seen people do that. Okay, please do not waste your time. Please do not waste your money. In terms ki that if you don't have money to waste, that is. The investment, if you can afford it, it's worth it, I'll say. But at my point of time, I got hostels. I had the whole, campus experience, and I did not have to, go out of my way, just to commute to college. That's what's happening right now. I'm sorry. 5 lakhs they're charging you, but they're not offering you hostels. That is a new thing. They're only offering you off-campus accommodation now, and off-campus accommodation they're offering you transport services and everything. But the whole point of living in that environment, living in that char-diwari of campus, is that you're constantly seeing, the same faces each and every day.
Why are they doing this? Have they run out of hostels, or like kya scenario?
It's that the campus is undergoing a lot of construction, but I mean, I don't know what went into planning it, because like the campus is undergoing construction. They have run out of hostels. They have increased their student intake from 120 to 300, I think.
In the 5-year LLB?
In the 5-year LLB.
Okay.
In our, like, the numbers holding at 120.
Yeah, 120.
Okay, but they have divided us into sections now.
Now the BA guys are also there. The BA owners.
The BA cohort, I mean.
BA guys are also.
If I don't say anything about that, the best. I mean, like, why is a law university venturing into liberal arts?
I'll tell you the thinking behind it. I'll tell you why. See, CLAT has gotten insanely competitive, and now from next year onwards, there's a proposal to drop current affairs also from CLAT completely. It's going to be an entirely critical reasoning paper. So what is the author wanting to say? They are dropping current affairs. It's a proposal. The deadline to submit feedback on that is on the 31st of August. This year's CLAT is not changing. Next year's CLAT this is a proposed change that there are only going to be 3 sections.
Okay.
One quant, logical and critical and legal is combined, and one reading comprehension. So no current affairs, no rote learning element to it. Alrighty. So now what that is going to do is, so already CLAT is insanely competitive. 80,000 people attempt the examination, and not many are able to clear it. So now an alternate route has been opened up. Now I do not know whether you are privy to this information. Is the BA guys get institutional preference in the 3-year LLB program starting 2028?
Yeah, they have like some seats reserved for them.
So now 10% of the 3-year LB folks from 2028, because BA program started in 25.
Yeah.
So 3-year, the first batch is going to be graduating from there at 2028 timeline.
Yeah.
So if they want to pursue a 3-year LB, so again it's going to be a BA plus a LLB, a BA LLB. So instead of the 5-year LLB standard program via CLAC, you can now enter the doorways of NLS via first the BA and then the 3-year LB, because you're going to get institutional preference. So net the result is the same by spending one extra year. So first you do dedicatedly BA and then you do dedicatedly LLB. You end up being a graduate, so it's BLLB. So that's another revenue stream that has been opened. It's a very, very strategic, I believe, decision. And next year, 28 onwards, not the next year, next to next year, for NLSAT, you have even lesser seats for the 3-year LB guys. So out of those 120, as per the website, 10% get reserved. I do not know about the horizontal and vertical reservations as of yet. But out of the 40 seats that we usually compete on as outside Karnataka folks and without any reservations, I believe those seats go down to now 30, 32, 36-ish, I believe, whatever the actual number, the factual number may be. So that is the entire thing. So, but you were on the point of hostels and fees and everything else. So I think it's around 515-ish.
Yeah, it's around 5.
And then the off-campus accommodation is there.
Yeah.
So you are not on campus. You just spend time during classes and basically leave.
Off-campus accommodation I think it got filled up and then they asked students to look for their own accommodation. So there's no
so that is a bottleneck,
Yeah, that is
a bottleneck. Okay. So if you can afford it, and if you do not, if of course you're clearing the entrance as well, and without taking too much debt. If it is a minor debt, the tag is very well worth it. But let us say that you have to completely finance your degree and get into a debt of 5 into 3, 15, traveling, kitab, all books, study materials, सब कुछ मिला जुला के, I think it should cost you around 20 odd lakh rupees now. 5K average of 3 years, you just add on to that cost.
Yeah, you're essentially investing in the tag. If you really think that the tag is worth the investment, I think that it is. Okay, many people still think it is. But in the current day and time, okay, when you have corporate university, when you have corporate law firms picking up students from other universities too, like what they have done is nowadays. Instead of getting 20 people from NLS or 10 people from NLS, they'll just pick the top 2-3 rankers from Tier 2 NLU, so to speak, like NLU, Odisha, and Gujarat, GNLU, Gujarat NLU, NLU Jodhpur. They'll pick the toppers from there because essentially they have done well in that domain and they have applied their mind and exceeded with almost the same level of academic rigor. It's just that the difference is the trimester system. Trimester system is very unique in the sense that it's constantly, asking you to study. With other semester systems, obviously you do get a break, you do get a time to catch up. It throws you out of the flow a bit.
Some of my students who are at NALSA are presently, they are very chill in life.
As they should be. As they should be.
बड़े बढ़िया रहते हैं वो, बढ़िया क्या बोलते रहते हैं. But so keep that in mind. So you need not get into too much of debt, I believe. Just because you want to do
because that. There are people, I've had conversations with people, my own classmates, my juniors, that say that they're here on a scholarship, that they say that they're taking out education loans just to get in here. And I mean, here's the thing, the law is still the same, the arts are still the same. The only difference is the way that they're taught. And if you are genuinely passionate about this profession and you have appreciation for this discipline to the extent that you want to dedicate your life to it, I think you will figure out a way anyhow to do that. Okay, if you want to pursue law for law's sake, the tag does help a lot. It does help a lot. It gives you access to opportunities that you wouldn't get elsewhere. But if you're dedicated to the discipline itself and you're ready for the grind, then it doesn't matter whether you pursue it from faculty of law or any other university or any other private college, you will make it in the world. That is what I think.
Substance will always override everything eventually in the long run. Now,
in the long run, yes.
Yes, and doors eventually do get opened. Because see, I'll tell you what. So based on my experience over now almost a decade in this field. So everyone's obsessed about college tags, which of course, now by God's grace, I also have those tags in my background. I know what they do, and of course, tags, localities, pin code discrimination, everything else, it exists as a reality of the world. That doesn't mean that the doors are permanently blocked out for you just because you're not coming out from those backgrounds. I went back to Sanskriti, my school, to judge a moot court competition. It's been 2004 I graduated from there. And it's been 22 odd years now, right? 22 odd years later. But as 22 odd years later, your school tags take a backseat. And what you have done in life, what sort of an individual are you? What sort of effort could you put? Yeah, sure enough, from 2004, that tag immensely helps you till about 2014, 2018. And then people are like, कि वो छोड़ो, बहुत हो गया. अब ये बताओ कि आज का क्या है? So as I know a lot of young souls will disagree with it. नहीं, tags ही सब कुछ है. नहीं. You will learn it in life. You will learn it in life that tags are a part of the game, They are not the game.
Yes.
And just to get a tag, so for example, if you were to pursue a LLM from Harvard and get into a sinkhole debt of around 2 odd crore rupees just to pursue that, and get an EMI of 2 odd lakh rupees on your head, especially when you're not coming from that privilege, you have just created a black hole for yourself, which you might just not be able to climb out of all that easily. So these are decisions that you need to keep in mind. Of course, flaunt value hai, status value hai, every value is there, and no doubt the university, it's not merely about the tag value, it's about the teaching pedagogy, the kind of people, the overall environment, everything is there. But this is advice for people who, essentially speaking, are just running for the tag. I've done an interview with the Ocean from IIT Kharagpur as well for a 3-year LLB. This was the advice again that she gave: do not come here merely for the tag. You will get destroyed inside and out. Come here if you genuinely wish to specialize in IP. Of course, that program is there. So just go there. I have from a 24 batch. Deepika Bajpai ji is there in the 24 batch. Very close friend of mine, and she told me about a girl who dropped out from her batch because of this dire finance ki situation.
Okay.
And hota hai.
I cannot speak to about dropping out because of finance, but in my batch only there were a lot of deferrals. Many of my friends that were a part of my batch are now pursuing their degrees in my junior batches.
Okay.
Right. So, there's financial aspect to it, but mentally also it takes a toll on you. And people, not everyone is equipped to handle that toll. Like, I'm fortunate enough, like even I was considering it back in towards the end of my first year, back in 2024. I was considering of taking a deferral, but then I decided the only way that you can get through this storm is through it. Right? You can go around it, you can meander around it. It's only going to cost you time. The fastest way is through. So just keep your head down and push on any way you can.
Right. So, the universities, तभी तो वही prestige value किस लिए है? क्योंकि अंदर कुछ है, और अंदर क्या है? अंदर is a rigorous academic standard. And उसके साथ attune और align करने में थोड़ा सा समय लगता है. And of course, the tag immediately opens the doors for you, but if you do not have the tag, the doors open for you maybe 3 to 5 years down the line, but they do open if you keep at it. And if you're diligent, and if you're devoted to the profession. Now that again takes, बलि तो देनी पड़ेगी, is my common axiom. बलिदान तो आपको देना पड़ेगा, आपके जीवन का आपको बलि तो देनी पड़ेगी. The sacrifice has to be there. You want to make a physique, you have to go to the gym and live that lifestyle. It's an entire lifestyle. It's not merely going 1 hour to the gym. You want to prepare for an entrance examination. It's a journey in which a lot of sacrifice is there for 1 year, 2 years, whatever time that you wish to take. And once you're through with it, well, the journey is very well worth it. Additionally, now let's wrap it up. Placement के बारे में बात कर ली, हमने अंदर बात कर ली. I hope that we have not left out anything You want to add something and then we'll wrap it up. You want to advise someone young who's preparing for the NLSAT right now for the 3-year LB. NLSAT how to prepare का इनका video पड़ा हुआ है जाके क्या बोलते हैं देख सकते हैं in this very playlist in which this video is also going to be placed, and you can explore any other n number of interviews that are there. But you want to advise to a young soul who wishes to pursue a 3-year LB and wishes to get into litigation or corporate, whatever their quote unquote dream right now is. What is the advice now after you clearing a ridiculously tough entrance with a very limited number of seats, and then you surviving the 3 years, coming out of it alive and fully well and completely into a new person, and then you want to advise perhaps to your younger self who just didn't know or didn't have this data beforehand? Yeah.
Initially, when I got into law school, courtrooms are what attracted me, right? I wanted to get into litigation. That was the thought that was in the back of my head. But then I saw people there who were all about that corporate life, right? The allure of the tall buildings, the large offices, the aesthetics, so to speak. And that kind of lifestyle is what is glamorized in law school and that is what they prepare you for it too. What I did in my time at law school to see if litigation is what I really want to do is that I did many different kinds of placements. I did in-house placements, internships. Sorry. Did many different kinds of internships. I did litigating internships, obviously. I did in-house internships at Sony. I did law firm internships at Desai & Devanji and Phoenix Legal, wonderful law firms. Please do intern there if you get the opportunity. And I also interned in trial courts under a judge. When I realized that corporate life is not for me, I am indeed, built for courtrooms, so to speak. So people like me at least, they need to settle on what they actually want to do before dedicating years of their life to it. And law is something that I have now dedicated close to 4 years of my life, because I started preparing for law in 2022 only. Right? 4 years of my life I dedicated to law. That is after my graduation. Even in graduation, I was given that space by my parents to figure out whether law is what I wanted to do. So just have a clear direction about whether you want to do law for the corporate life or the tag or the advocate tag, so to speak. Like, we're all chasing tags at this point in our life. We are all chasing labels. Just don't do it for the label. Do it because you like it. 3-year LL.B at NLS, it has been a life-changing experience for me. I have made incredible relationships with the people that I shared classrooms with. I also, one of them is working with me at my office. So, I mean, it was a very thrilling ride. It was a very enjoyable ride, but only because I wanted that lifestyle and I was sure about it. If you're not sure that you want to do law, then please, by all means, look for other avenues. Don't go chasing a certain kind of lifestyle just because people tell you that this is the default way to live or this is the default way to work. So at least in that regard only, इतना ही बोलूँगा मैं कि आपको NLS जाना है, आप जाइए, 100% जाइए, बट इस डायरेक्शन के साथ जाइए कि आपको NLS के बाद कहाँ जाना है. और अगर आपको नहीं पता, then please feel free to explore your interests any way you know, through your internships, through your academia, through publications. You will have that space to figure it out. You will get those opportunities to figure it out. Litigation and corporate two-dimensional चीजें हैं, be all end all नहीं है हर चीज का. There are also paths in between, and that is what's unique about this program. It's not singularly focused on the law as the 5-year program is. So 3-year LL.B में ये एक बहुत स्पेशल चीज़ है. They've got lightning in a bottle here with this program, and that is what I have to give credit to this university for. कि it has taken on some of the most brilliant minds in the country. They've gotten them all in one place, and then they've introduced them to one of the most abstract professions and discipline in existence. Because what is law if not the language of society at large, society in the abstract sense? Just like maths is the language of the universe, the written word that the law uses, it is the language of society, it is the language of governance and administration. And I mean, like, that's my yap, so to speak, but like, bottom line is just go out there and do what you like, and do law because you love to do law. That is the bottom line.
So as I advised him also, so explore your interests via internships. And how do you land internships? Well, then you keep on exploring those opportunities, and well, you have to then cover out litigation internships, and then you have to cover out some corporate law internships to figure out what suits you best and where, how you are wired essentially. So you via this process, you will also figure out who you are. And the moment you figure out that, you will get a GPS in which your direction will then become clear. The answers that mostly people seek are actually lying within you, and then you have to figure first yourself out. And how do you do that? You expose yourself to different domains, and then you decide, well, this is for me, right? So before entering into a marriage, you have to date a couple of people, right? So you do those datings, and then, well, nahi samajh mein aa raha, then you break up. Or फिर जो समझ में आ रहा है, then you push the button and then go in for that well, ultimate marriage. And then you go all out. You are all in, and then you be all in for a decade at least for things to work out, and then see where you have reached. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Right.
Just one thing I'd like to add, because I'm currently 24 years old. I entered law school when I was 21. That is why I had to take my time figuring out my interests. There are also people preparing for NLSAT who are in their late 20s, their early 30s. One of my classmates was in his late 50s, right?
Okay.
The MBA professor that I mentioned earlier.
Right.
Everyone does law for their own different reasons. They have a direction in their life for why they want to pursue it. These suggestions that I made were from the perspective of a 21-year-old preparing for NLSAT. There are also many other people who are preparing for NLSAT, and I think most of you will agree with what I had to say about having that direction, about what you want to get out of law. But for those who are still discovering what you want out of law, I mean, please by all means just explore your interests. That's it.
Right. Okay, ji. On that note, we wish you all the very best, and thank you again for doing this. This is the second interview on the channel. We just keep on catching him for interviews. May God bless you all. May God bless you all, and well, may God bless you as well for your journey ahead in litigation. You take very good care of yourself. Bye.